Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook process video and welcome back to another month of Mad About Mini Paper Pads. So this layout I'm going to consider, what I'm going to call anyways, is a total roller coaster ride. And by that I mean it goes really good, it goes really bad, it goes really good, it goes really bad, it goes really good. It is definitely I really love the end product. There's one thing that's going to get kind of messed up at the end, that kind of is a bummer, but oh well, I love it. So what you can see here is me making a mini attempt at mixed media. This is kind of where it starts. I I'm for this month I am using I want to say it's Cocoa Daisy. I got their kits for like 3 months, I think. At one point, it was a while ago, so I don't really remember when. But the colors are really great for these pictures that I have of my daughter. So I thought I would pull out some inks and kind of do the smushing technique. I know that distress inks work better and all that. I do not have distress inks. I was kind of not really going. There's sometimes I like the smushing technique and sometimes I don't. And I kind of like it with bubble wrap instead of just flat, acetate. Sometimes I did not add enough water, I know, but I was really trying to keep it in this right hand side. But I'm going to tell you right now, this doesn't last. And I'm leaving a lot of this in here so that you guys can see that it's okay to, if you're not loving what you're doing, it's definitely okay to stop and go in another direction. So here are the papers, some of the papers, and I pulled out some heart dies, and I will leave a link below to these dies, but really any heart dies will work. These do have a stitching around them, which is why I got them. Again, I got them a while ago, but when I put the hearts onto the paper that had all the mixed media stuff on it, I didn't like it. The mixed media stuff stood out too much. So I decided to kind of do it a little bit more in a simpler way and just take this stamp. This is, let me look, Dainty Patterns by Close to My Heart. If I can find it online, I will leave a link below, but I am not sure if it's one that's still available or not. I do not sell Close to My Heart anymore. I did that for a short time. I never do good with selling stuff, to be honest. So I gave up. I was like, whatever. I'm not worried about it. So anyways, I'm taking and just dabbing a lot of the two darker colors. I did second generation stamping. This blue one I am going to just do first generation because it's a very light blue, but it goes with the blue of the hearts. And a lot of this does get covered up. I'm not really taking the time to, you know, worry about where it is. I just know I kind of want to go along the right hand side. This is also a little stamp. You can see it on the left hand of the screen. It's like a little border with a line and a heart. So what I did was just put it on a stamp block and wrapped the edges around, and I'm kind of just stamping and dabbing it on the corner of the ink pad so it only picks up a little bit of the color, as you can kind of see there. So, and I'm just putting them a couple places. I'm not sure if any of these really, I think maybe one or two get shown in the end, but I just kind of liked it. Now, I do want to say with this, I did get the idea because, well, the Cocoa Daisy that I got had I don't know if they still do it or what's up anymore because like I said, this was a while ago, but they do sometimes, or at least when I got these ones, they add in a little like idea sheet, I guess you could call it. And I did get the idea because they had an idea of the hearts going down the right hand side. They did add a little bit more to the left as well, but that's where I got the idea. I just kind of, they even actually included little templates that they were pre-printed. You could cut out if you wanted to follow what they did exactly, but I just wanted to do the hearts. These are selfies of my daughter. For the longest time, Well, when she was in high school, I would get a lot of selfies from her. Then, you know, she kind of moved on with life and didn't take as many selfies, I don't think. And so these ones, lately, she's been sending me more selfies, and I absolutely love it because I don't get pictures of her very often. So um, I've been loving the pictures she's been sending me. So um, these were just some she sent, and I thought the colors, she's wearing kind of like an orangish jacket with like this bluish kind of florally dress. So they go perfectly. They just went perfectly. I was pretty excited when I discovered these pictures on my phone. I was trying to find a few pictures to use to kind of go, you know, with um, this this collection. And actually, I think I'm going to put it back in with my Project Life stuff and use it for that again. I don't know why I pulled it out to just use up because I actually really like it. So I'm going to glue down. I do have everything pretty much set where I want it. For the hearts, I am adding just the tiniest bit, and it's not even very barely visible, just the tiniest bit of inking around the edges of them. And I'm just using my gray. I thought about my brown, but I didn't really want to bring out the brown. This just didn't say brown to me. So I went ahead and just the tiniest bit of inking around them. And I am gluing them all flat to the page. So you will see I'm going to pull in some other embellishments that are not flat. And that is why I just kind of decided to go ahead and glue all of these flat. I did think about popping a couple of them up, but knowing I had other stuff that I'm going to bring in, um, that's why I just left them flat. I am going to add, however, foam adhesive to all three of the pictures. And I did put a very tiny layer of that or photo mat with one of the pattern papers. It's kind of funny because when I was thinking about this layout, there's some floral. You can see that floral paper. I think you could fussy cut some of those. I don't know how well it would be to fussy cut them all, but or how easy it would be. But kind of losing my train of thought. Anyways, I did go ahead and mat. Oh, that's what I was saying. I feel like I was really going to use a lot of the florals was kind of my goal, you know, thinking they would stick out. There's not a lot. There is just a few in the embellishments. But I ended up just going with the hearts and I really like it. So you can see again where a lot of the stamping gets covered up. I mean, even at this point where I haven't even added anything else. But I'm okay with that because it just kind of gives a very, what I want to call a light layer in the background. Um, so I'm happy. Oh, and here I started to add adhesive to, almost forgot to add a photo mat to this one. And it is, like I said, it is a very thin photo mat, but it's just enough to kind of, I didn't, you know, obviously white wouldn't have stood out very much. And I did actually mean to add a little bit of inking to the edges of the photos as well, but this video is basically due up tomorrow, and I have another voiceover that I have to do for another new collaboration that will be out Sunday, the day after this one, and I'm behind. So I'm kind of frantically working. So I'm glad this layout came together as well as it did. And I also know, and I apologize, I didn't put up my day in the life video. If you are a follower of mine, that series, I kind of want to change that series up just a little bit. And I've kind of been afraid I don't want to like disappoint any of you. And it's just kind of a little bit of a, so I'll explain that later though, I'll put the video up still. Anyways, so here I have all the hearts glued down and all the photos glued down. So now I am going to, these are the chipboard pieces that I knew I wanted to use because there's a lot of hearts. And that's kind of where it just starts to go in the heart direction and no florals. And I think do I use every heart? No, there's one green one it's a pretty green, but it's more like for the florals. It doesn't really go with these other colors. Um, so I'm pulling out a lot of these. I am going to use a lot from this chipboard sheet. There is not very much left, which makes me happy. And another thing I'm kind of adding is circles. So there's one that says amore. I don't know how you say that. I think that means love, but down below, what a perfect layout to use that on, because I don't know what else I would use that for. And then there's one, a circle up in the top that says love you. So with this layout, I'm going to admit that I'm really not following any of like the design tip, quote unquote, rules. Um, I'm just kind of playing and having fun. And if I feel like it looks good there, then I'm putting it down. Um, I am trying to keep in mind a couple things while I'm adding it. You can see that there is kind of that reddish circle in the top, and then kind of a red heart with that red saying over on the middle, kind of closer to the bottom right. And then on the left of the bottom photo is the same color heart. So I am trying to keep in mind the colors and not have like all the blues in one area and all the yellows in another area. So keep that in mind when you're playing around. Just make sure the colors kind of are not in just one area. And that will help you. So same thing with the hearts, I put one, in one spot and that same design in another spot, and kind of spread them around. So, but other than that, I'm really not, paying attention to any scrap rules. So far in the beginning, it went bad to me, and then it started getting good because I changed my direction. This is one thing that's going to not be my favorite. I'm going to add these black hearts. There is a little bit of black here and there, and so I thought maybe adding these black hearts would help bring that black around. And it does look good. It's not like it's horrible or anything like that, but I'm not liking that, I'm going to tell you. Then I'm going to add a little bit. Well, first I bought this spray. I mentioned in another video I was looking for one that made big splatters, but then I decided a little bit of sparkle would be fun. And I knew that I had a black glitter pen. This one I think is the Wink of Stella ones. And so it is older. I was surprised it actually worked, to be honest. I had somebody ask about getting splatters from glitter pens, and I have found that, well, just from this layout, number one, to get good splatters from the glitter pen, it's easier if you like add a little bit to a mat and add some water. And I actually kind of learned that the more water, the better. I thought if I put too much water, it would make it look too gray, but really the more water, I mean, you want to be careful. You don't want a ton of water, but definitely test it. And that is a really, here I am adding a little bit more water. That is a really good way to get it to splatter. Now, what I'm looking for here with this layout and what I'm doing is very teeny tiny splatters. I didn't want any big globs. I didn't want anything. I just wanted a little bit of interest with some splatters. So I hope that helps. And you can actually use the bottle and tap it, or the pen and tap it onto the layout, but it does take a little longer to dry and it's harder to control. So here's where it's going to roller coaster back up and be better. Is because I am going to, luckily this heart punch was literally the exact size of that black stamp. So I'm going to cover these up with pattern paper. And you can see, you might notice I have also added some enamel dots that came in the kit. They are super glittery, and I kind of spread those around. And again, I didn't pay attention to the rule of thirds or an odd number or anything. I just kind of placed them wherever I thought that they looked good. So again, that's just another little, breaking the rules type of thing. And I actually thought I was done at this point, but that one spot that's kind of above the title area just is kind of throwing me off a little bit. It looks very empty. So I decided to go ahead and cut one more heart, because I do only have 2 of this color heart around. And I'm going to put it there. And then that title that I really wanted to use that said Snapshots of the Day. Oh, I love it there. I think it looks really good. it kind of just brings the layout more from, just being all on the right-hand side. And then I'm like, I can't tell if it really looks good, but I was like, I don't care. I want it there and I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going to glue it down. And so this is where the roller coaster is going really good. And here's where it goes bad. This is where I was lazy and I just wanted to tap from my glitter pen and it went all over that snapshots of you, the pink that I wanted to keep there. And I love the way it looks because it's just so pink. It grabs a lot of your attention and I was so disappointed, but it got splatter on there. So I used my eraser to try to kind of erase off the ink. Well, that was a bad idea because it basically took off the color as well. And I'm kind of right now not sure what to do. So the roller coaster is like down right now. It's like, ugh. But what I ended up doing, and you will see in the still shot photos, is I just added a different word sticker there. And I don't love it as much, but I do love the entire layout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process and break out your dies if you have smaller scraps or something you want to use up. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. And don't forget to check out the links below and follow along on this YouTube hop. All right, see you next time. Bye.